Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, it keeps getting worse for reckless Vince McMahon.
The original WrestleMania 41 card has been leaked.
John Moxley has spilled da beans on da Death Riders.
And did WWE just kill off Tony D'Angelo? I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I never stopped believing.
This is the news.
All right, let's kick this one off by talking about Vince McMahon. He's been in a car accident. This was last week. TMZ broke the news yesterday. There's all kinds of photos of his Bentley and of the other car. They're mangled. They're all messed up. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. But it sounds like the lady he was in the car crash with, she says she's fortunate to have survived. So we'll go over the whole thing, right? This happened at about 9 a.m. somewhere in Connecticut last Thursday. This was a few hours before the news that Hulk Hogan passed away. I don't know why that's relevant, but it's in the write-up. According to a report, Vince was traveling northbound and he rammed into the back. He's in a Bentley. He went into the back of a BMW and then collided with a wooden beam guardrail type structure. Debris flew into the left side of this highway and a third vehicle ran into that. It was a Ford Fusion. The force of the impact was apparently so severe that the airbags in Vince's Bentley and the BMW went. They did their airbag thing. Yeah. They went scoosh. These cars, all three of them, had to be towed. There was about 30 feet of damage to the guardrail as well, so they scraped down a little bit. Vince has been issued a misdemeanor summons for reckless driving and following too closely, resulting in the accident. And he has to be in court next month as a result of this. Now, Barbara Dolan, she's the other person. She was driving the BMW. She's 72 years old. She posted about this to Facebook, and I'm just going to read you her whole thing because full picture and all that. Lucky to have survived a horrific car crash on the way to catch a ferry to Martha's Vineyard last Thursday morning. Both cars totaled. Vince McMahon, former chair of WWE, hit me going 80 to 90 miles per hour as I drove in the right lane of the narrow Merritt Highway. I and the dog are mostly fine. Now that's key. I'm always keen to hear that the dog is fine. But was lucky to have kept control of the car more or less as I shot off the road after being catapulted 100 yards. She then goes on, an unmarked state trooper had been following him as he sped in and out of cars down the highway and had just turned his lights on to pull McMahon over, but this was not in time. Both front wheels of McMahon's Bentley were sheared off.
Wow.
That sounds scary, and airbags deployed, probably saving him from significant injury. The trooper told me afterwards that McMahon saw me last minute and swerved, crashing into my left rear, but if he had hit me full on, there might have been a very different ending for me. This is brutal, this.
Yeah, horrible to hear this.
Terrible stuff.
Yeah, I mean, any car crash is absolutely horrible. This one sounds and looks particularly bad. It must be a surreal thing to be crashed into. Luckily enough, never happened to me. But like, especially at the start of the day, ruins your day, sort of, doesn't it? But it must be so surreal to step out and be like, oh bloody hell, who did that? Is that Vince McMahon of all people?
He's wrecked my car and he's hurt my neck.
There's so many knobheads on the roads.
There is.
Swerving in and out of traffic and stuff like that.
Psychopaths.
This doesn't sound like an innocuous, oh, whoops. I've lost control of my, my brakes have failed or whatever. It just sounds like he's swerving in and out of traffic.
80 to 90 mile an hour is really dangerous as well. American roads are scary as well. I've gone to America a lot. I've always thought it was quite bad in Florida with tourists and all that stuff. Yeah, I've never driven there myself either. But even as a passenger, when I was in Texas in April, I was like, oh my goodness, this is people just cutting in front of you with an inch of space. And it's the highways themselves are quite scary because there's these big concrete barricades. And I'm sure you get used to them eventually, right? This wall just towering over you while a truck is on a lorry is on the other side. I'm sure you get used to that. But for me as a Brit, where we're used to our crappy little grass embankment with a little tiny barrier in the middle, which is probably less safe. I have no idea. Somebody correct me. It's quite an adjustment. It's scary. I'm terrified of the prospect of driving in another country, to be honest.
But yeah, it's such a surreal story to read about this. Most importantly, of course, everyone's all right. That's the main thing.
And the dog. Don't forget the dog.
But
here's a dog.
Yeah, I sensed this is going to be a pretty costly thing for Vince.
Going to court, misdemeanor reckless driving. I've no idea what any of this entails or what could come of it. I don't know the American legal system whatsoever. Is it state by state? I don't know.
Either way, whoever got crashed into is going to be taking him to town.
Yeah, Barbara's going to take him down to Funky Town.
She's going to get those phone calls. Have you been in a crash recently? Yes, with Vince McMahon of all people.
yeah. She's going to want to be 76% confident at very least of her chances. But hey, you can save 76% right now if you sign up. That's a terrible link. If you sign up for NordVPN, if you live in the UK or anywhere else in the world, I'm just mentioning the UK for reasons. 76% off, 4 months for free, up to a $50 or pound Amazon gift card. Sign up right now. Link is in the comments. Link is in the description. Link was on your screen in that little QR code thing. Look after yourself online. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
It's a phenomenal deal, and you've only got... Well, I was going to say you've only got a few days left.
You got 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I forgot.
We had a conversation about this yesterday.
It's running now until the middle of August.
We're so good to you. We've extended the deal.
You guys have been so up for NordVPN that the Nord is... He's thrown down his axe.
Thanks to the Nord.
He's not a berserker anymore. He's just Nord. He's just Big John.
It is a great deal, and if you want to watch American Netflix, or if you're in America and you want to watch wrestling without adverts and stuff like that, get your hands on it right now. Link in the description, as you say.
Bosh.
Right, let's talk about WWE Unreal. We mentioned it yesterday. It dropped on Netflix. I've already watched episode 1, and it's one of those things. It's so strange, because it's another one of those things where it's like, right, you're peeling back the curtain. It's fascinating. It's well worth checking out, in my opinion. But it's also... they're aware that they're peeling back the curtain and how far they're peeling it back, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and some of it is definitely worked as well. Yeah.
Nevertheless, there is some fascinating little tidbits coming out of all this. I mean, within 2 minutes of WWE Unreal, you find out that Chelsea Green just pissed herself. But that is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the WrestleMania 41 card being leaked. Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam, that's already happened. Yeah, I'm talking about the original WrestleMania 41 card, because the one we got was... Well, this is bad. Let's be perfectly honest. Do you want to just run you through the cards?
Yeah, go for it.
They originally planned 2 ladder matches, one for the US title, one for the Intercontinental title. Jey Uso was going to be in the IC title ladder match, alongside Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, and Ludwig Kaiser. Jimmy Uso, meanwhile, was going to be in the US title ladder match, alongside LA Knight. Yeah. Andrade.
Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
Solo Sikoa. Santos Escobar, Carmelo Hayes, and Shinsuke Nakamura. But the more you read through this card, there's some really interesting matches that I would have kind of loved to have seen, to be perfectly honest. Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable. Okay. But wait a second. Rey Mysterio with Travis Scott. What?
Beg your pardon.
Get this one. Bron Breakker versus Drew McIntyre. That would have been class. I mean, Drew versus Damian Priest, which we got, was awesome, but these two going at it. What about if we had a special guest referee to that, Andy? What special guest referee are you asking? Stone Cold Steve Austin. Crashing his ATV on the way to the ring wearing the black and white stripes.
Would have been funny.
AJ Styles versus Logan Paul's on there. The women's tag team title match was going to be Io Sky and Asuka versus Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I do want to mention this. Dominic Mysterio, who obviously won the IC title in an amazing moment at WrestleMania 41. Yeah, he wasn't going to be involved with the IC title, but he was going to be involved with Bad Bunny. God, we didn't get another Bad Bunny match. I love that guy.
That would have probably been really good, to be fair.
Well, check out this one. A 10-person mixed tag. The Judgment Day versus the Wyatt Six. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, which was obviously planned. Unfortunately, Kevin Owens is getting surgery. Hope he's getting well soon. And we got Joe Hendry, of course, in that spot on the night. The Women's World Title match, the best match at WrestleMania 41, would have been slightly different. Obviously, no Io Sky, which I think she was one of the reasons why it was so good, obviously. Yeah. But nevertheless, this sounds great. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Obviously, we know what those two can do together. In terms of the top of the card, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena Undisputed title. That was always planned. Yep. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. That was going to be a one-on-one match. What's CM Punk doing? Fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. So you can almost take from that, we're sort of, I'm trying to read this and then sort of go back in time in my head. You assume that maybe that would have been Punk winning the Rumble then?
Yeah, well, there was a scene in Unreal as well where it was like they were in the writers' room and it went, who should win the Rumble? Everyone went Punk, 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 and then I think Bruce Pritchard went Jey Uso or something else. Maybe I've got that wrong. So yeah, it looks like they decided to do the Jey Uso thing, and then they just kind of postponed the Punk Gunther
Yeah, we
thing.
get that, of course, this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. There were reports heading into Mania that Asuka was maybe going to be involved in a tag thing, so that aligns. There's some interesting bits and pieces in there. Charlotte and Becky, I mean, after their last few interactions on screen, that would have been funny. But yeah, it could have been a laugh.
Bad Bunny, Dominic Mysterio.
That would have been really good.
I mean, I'm not as good. If like Dominic Mysterio hadn't done anything, for example, or just been involved in that Wyatt 6 Judgment Day match, then that would have been a lot worse. But like the Bad Bunny match, I mean, he got an amazing moment with the IC title, so I'm not going to complain too much.
The Wyatt 6 one is another match that was heavily rumoured before the show too. So it's like you can see where the report, now that you've seen this whiteboard with all these matches.
I'm pausing all WWE and all. What's that in the background?
You can see all these things that almost came together. It's interesting. I think I've not watched that. I feel like I don't need to, because I feel like within 1 hour of that show going out, all the clips were on Twitter.
I've had to avoid social media. Yeah, I don't spoil it.
Yeah, literally everything is there. It's like, I've just watched 5 hours of the show without actually watching it. It was really like blanket aggregation of this show, and I don't blame people because it clearly got engagement and stuff like that.
I like the fact that they said this season, so hopefully that means there's going to be some more. And
there probably will be.
Just talking. I want a big blow up backstage because I want to know what really went on.
I want a fake fight.
Yeah.
Fake backstage fight. Let's go. Take it with a pinch of Punk, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's WWE's aware of what they're doing here, and then them. As with all these, any reality TV show, there is stuff that they sort of make bigger than it actually is in real life.
Reality TV's fake as hell. Yeah,
apart from the Real Housewives, that is all legitimate stuff.
Also, Gossip Girl, that's real. That's a real show.
Damn you! Is it Dan Humphrey?
Dan Humphrey, piece of crap.
Oh, spoilers, sorry everybody.
Oh yeah, spoilers for God. I mean, we're about to do a Sopranos spoiler at the end of this, so don't spoil shows that are 15 years old.
But yeah, I kind of wish we had this WrestleMania 41 card.
Yeah, me too.
Presumably would have mean that we didn't get the 20-minute Travis Scott entrance in the main event as well.
Dan Humphrey versus Blake Lively in the main event.
Or would he have been a babyface friend of Rey Mysterio and then come out and be like, screw you, Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, I mean, it would have saved a lot of fannying on, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And now he's not coming back because they all hate him, apparently.
Yeah, it's funny to see the clips of him and they're like, oh, great work, Travis. He's like, I love it here. And you're like, oh, well, I wouldn't hold your breath.
I love that little Triple H bit in this where he's like, I phoned The Rock, and The Rock was well up for John Cena. You had nothing to do with this,
I sense
Paul.
the conversation went the other way.
Yeah. But it is fun, seeing, I like the shots of, Tiffany and Charlotte after their match and the fallout. I like the fallout from that kind of stuff.
It's fascinating stuff.
Perversely entertaining, these creations.
Yeah, we were saying there's a Venn diagram, isn't there, of people who don't watch wrestling whatsoever, and they're like, what's all this documentary about? And they can be sort of fooled by everything. Then there's people, in the know who are like, oh, you're ruining the business, pulling back the curtain. And then there's us, me, you, the viewers, who are all like, we know what's going on here, but I still want to watch.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's known kayfabe exists for about 40 years.
Yeah.
It's cool. We can do these documentaries. It's fine.
People who reported that Chad Gable destroyed kayfabe the other day by allegedly revealing his El Grande Americano. He's not. There was 2 of them on Raw, and neither of them were wearing something to recover from rotator cuff surgery.
How is this gimmick still going?
It's getting bigger.
How
3 of them now.
How are we still here? It's August almost. What's going on?
Take it to Mania. No, actually.
No.
Do you know what I pitched on the podcast yesterday? What Culture Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. All the El Grande Americanos together for War Games. So
there you go. I mean, that sounds like my personal hell.
Yeah.
Hey, here we go. Hey ho, let's go and talk about something else. Hey, a stable that everyone likes, the Death Riders. All right. Although, to be fair, the perception has definitely shifted. It's no longer the
worst thing ever in wrestling.
We've just spoken about El Grande Americano. John Moxley's done an interview with Justin Barrasso for his Substack. And it's pretty interesting. He's kind of talking about this angle, this story, more from the perspective of using his kind of main event spotlight to help other people. and stuff like that, and saying I've been here 1,000 times before, now I want to kind of lift people up. So we can talk about it from that perspective. There's one interesting quote here where he says he's of course fighting Hangman Page for the belt tonight on AEW Dynamite. It's a rematch of All In. Moxley said the following: "I'm so proud of these people. This is the most ambitious I've ever done in my career, in my life really. This is something that takes years. There's no end in sight. There's no immediate payoff. Dripping water hollows out stones." I mean, you might be working with that stuff, I'm not sure. "That's what I'm doing every day, and you start with the people around you. And who's standing right next to me? Claudio. And we build from there. This is about creating energy and friction. That's my team, and I'm so proud of them. I've been here 1,000,000 times, now I get to see it through their eyes. That's exciting, and it's doubly gratifying to see someone else succeed." So, I think if you're going to judge the Death Riders, right, from start to finish, I thought the first few months were terrible. I hated them. Which, you know, I think it had a bit of promise. I thought the initial angle was good.
Oh, it was shocking.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh.
The happiness of All In to,
Yeah. I just think the follow-up was pretty grey. It was like, and grim and grey. What a combo. It's like Aberdeen on a cold day. It was just a bit like, you kind of created the almost idea of the promotion standing up against them, but you never really fleshed that out beyond a couple of segments with people hanging out backstage. And then it all got a little bit repetitive. Moxley wasn't doing the best job of articulating his mission statement, which became increasingly ambiguous.
Yes.
And then eventually, right, it just morphed into a pretty basic heel stable, which in my view was a lot better because it went from like a 3 out of 10 to like a 6. But then you got to All In Texas and you had this incredible main event that everyone loved.
Yeah.
So ultimately, if that is the payoff, and look, from a standpoint of helping people, I would argue that it hasn't helped Claudio.
No.
I think he's less interesting now than he was before. Pac is a difficult case because he's always back and forth and like he's had injuries and stuff, so I'm not judging his participation. However, Marina Shafir is unquestionably in a better position right now. This is a great role for her, and she should continue in it, even if the stable eventually ends. And look, Wheeler Yuta is like the perfect gremlin, goblin little guy who gets...
Get a haircut!
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of response they want.
Yeah.
They want you to hate him and think he's a pain in the ass, and he gets beat by Hangman Page in 3 minutes. It's helped him. That's a good role for him. So, you know, also, Hangman winning the belt was pretty sick.
Yes, this is
pretty
the thing,
sick.
isn't it? Like you say, the conclusion of it all, I think, has helped people's perception of the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. I've not been the biggest fan of the Death Riders for a long, long time with their crime sprees, bleaching people and kidnapping the Rock and Roll Express. What?
Yeah.
And then, like...
yeah, that was weird.
I feel like there should be like a uniform thing across all companies now for quite some time. We did this with like heel authority figures. People making stables that are like, I'm here to save this company. It needs to be taken over and stuff like that. It's been overdone. And there's elements of that still obviously going on with like the Seth Rollins stable and things like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I just want him to be like, look, if I have Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed with me, it makes it a lot easier for me to win the world title, to be honest. That's all
they're big and scary.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. You can't deny that this has obviously elevated someone like Marina Shafir, who Mox clearly has a very good relationship with, and he's one of those people you're talking about. I think arguably he was already sort of pretty much there, but like the taking out of Darby Allin, I know to do the Everest thing, but also his like triumphant return as part of that main event of All in Texas. He's been brought in. They've brought Gabe Kidd in via this. I know he's done stuff before, but I like the way that they've utilised Gabe. Or was big fans of his, obviously. And yes, the sort of the cathartic thing of finally that belt is not in a briefcase held by those bastards, at least until, well, tonight's Dynamite, perhaps.
Oh no, MJF's going to cash in.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a whole other topic for us to deal with regards to their not money in the bank, not gift from the gods thing.
It's what was it? What was the word they used?
Oh yeah, you were talking. It's like it's not a title opportunity. That was the reason why we were saying this.
Engaged. What was it? Engaged.
You had to sign the contract. There was a term they used. I can't remember.
Activate. I don't know.
Yes, that's something along those lines. But yeah, obviously the amazing moment for Hangman Page at All In. I don't think that happens if it's just, I mean, it could be Mox, but like if it was just some person like Jericho, for example, when he was champion, that was a great moment when he dropped that to Mox, obviously.
Yes.
But it didn't have the like, oh, Hangman saved the company and saved himself somewhat. They've emerged nicely together.
They stuck the landing with that title change, and I was in favour of the stable breaking up following that.
Do you think that happens after tonight?
I don't think so. I think they're going to resolve the Darby Allin feud as well, and then move on from there. He's saying here that it's going to take years. Again, he could just be working with that part, but I don't know. I don't really see it. I think they will definitely do the Darby match, if nothing else, at some point, because he's going to be in the rafters looking and
all
stuff.
Out. You think? I'm thinking I'd love it to be a Forbidden Door, but I just don't see it. I see it being even bigger than that.
I reckon they'll probably do some kind of inter-promotional thing at Forbidden Door, given the gimmick. But they'll probably All Out. Makes sense.
Good intentions, at least, from Mox in all this to elevate other people.
And for me, it was like one of my least favourite periods of his career. It was my least favourite of his AEW career so far. The start of it, I think he deserves...
We did watch latter-day Dean Ambrose yesterday.
Yeah, that was a shambles. And obviously, like, you could go back and, like, he's got Mitch the potted plant and all that.
Well,
that's
not all bad.
Unmitigated garbage for babies.
Never got the Nia Jax feud.
Oh yeah, the great intergender classic that would have been Dean Ambrose versus
what
Jax.
What could have happened to EC3 if they'd really,
If he hadn't held up that red cup, he might still be with us today. Anyway,
good. And I've got another story. Don't worry.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I've got
what? What? Okay.
Good thing on a good list recently with EC3 in it on the channel, which we're checking out.
Pop that later on.
Yeah, but let's talk about Tony D'Angelo and the conclusion of last night's NXT. Yeah, it sounds like I've just sort of forced this into the news now.
No, literally mid-video, I forgot it existed. Gee whiz.
So there was a sort of, obviously, Tony D'Angelo, if you're unaware, if you don't watch NXT, what are you doing? It's the best wrestling show of the week. Tony D'Angelo is a mafia leader who has won a whole host of titles.
Sir, he's a waste management professional.
Indeed, yes. Yeah. But he has been a North American champion, he's been Heritage Cup champion, Tag Team champion, he fought for the NXT title, of course, at Stand and Deliver a couple of years ago. But the family's just split. Stax, Luca Crucifino, the Riz was there as well. They've all seemingly gone their separate ways, and the speculation has been, right, what happens to Tony D now? What happens to the Don now? Well, first of all, don't call him the Don. That's what he says in this segment at the end of last night's NXT. As the show is going off the air, he's in the restaurant where they've been doing all the family meetings for many years now, and someone says, "Here you go, Don." Gives him a nice glass of red, and he says, "Just call me Tony from now on." I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? And then, Sopranos-esque conclusion to this. Someone or something blocks out the sun.
Like it's a monster.
Yeah, it could be anything. Something or someone blocks out the light, towers over Tony D'Angelo, and we fade to black again, Sopranos-esque.
Yeah.
And there's a whole load of speculation, certainly on my behalf, and there will be on the NXT review later, as to who or what that is. I looked in the comment replies to the NXT post of just like, who did Tony D'Angelo see with this
What are your favourites?
2 Dimes. He literally works for the other company. He works for AEW.
He's also dead in
they killed him off.
Yeah, okay.
I like Omos, but that's because we like Omos.
Yes.
He's a lovely man.
Yes.
I saw names like Moose being suggested. So like people from the Full-Blooded Italians, people from TNA, things like that. Yeah.
Nunzio's back, baby.
They've had an interaction before. Why not do it again? Yeah. The Dead Man was also a name I saw being suggested. And another one which may be slightly more feasible is simply Postman Pierce from Monday Night Raw, basically giving him a main roster contract. Or he could just be Gown.
Yeah, maybe they killed him off. Because, like, it's a spoiler for The Sopranos, guys. It's 20 years old, but the ending of The Sopranos is that it's ambiguous, but maybe they want you to believe that somebody was coming into the restaurant that Tony and his family are sitting in to finish the job on him. Journey, Don't Stop Believing's playing. It's like an iconic ending.
It is amazing, yeah.
And it got pissed a lot of people off. We've been talking about it for decades at this point. I think it's great.
It's one of those, I've never watched The Sopranos, and I'm sort of reticent to get involved because I know that's where we're heading. It's a bit like finding out about Game of Thrones now or something.
Yeah. They all go mental, and the last season's a bit crap.
How do all these TV shows like have this amazing run and not have someone go, what do we do at the end?
Yeah,
like Dexter was really bad. I think Lost obviously is one of the. There's not many that
Lost
really
went whack big time.
I can't think of many that you're like.
The Wire's great.
Yeah, that's one of the few.
The Shield's great too. That one, yeah. Dean Ambrose. bringing it full circle. I can't really think of any.
Entourage.
A show that has not aged poorly at all. Not in the slightest. Gee whiz.
Let us know. Yeah, let us know TV shows that have got good endings that we should
The Office's ending's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the last couple of seasons are not the best, but the ending's solid.
UK Office, very brief. Obviously, they kept it short.
Nice and simple. What was that?
Well, How I Met Your Mother's bad, isn't it? I remember hearing about that. I never really
Did they meet the mother? Is that the ending?
I think so.
Okay.
I think Benny said they went, yeah, you know how we've been leading you to this? Yeah, it's not that, it's this. And everyone went, what?
Yeah.
And obviously, Gossip Girl, we mentioned it.
Yeah, Gossip Girl, every episode is a twist journey.
Yeah.
With 7 different heel turns. And like, this person's sleeping with this person, and this guy's dad's over here, and this person's in jail now, and look, they killed the person. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The drugs. It's a ridiculous show.
Chuck Bass.
His voice, he does not speak like that. That is some Tom Hardy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Chuck Bass.
Chuck Bass.
I'm Chuck Bass.
Well,
imagine Chuck Bass ordering pizza. Hello.
Sorry, can you speak up so I can't?
Yeah. Where are we delivering to? Chuck Bass.
Chuck Bass.
He lives in a flipping private suite.
I love that clip. I don't know what it's from. With I think is it Dakota Johnson, where she gets in a cab and she's like, "Where to?" And she's like, "Home. Take me home." Yeah. And he goes, "You need to tell me where you're going, man."
What are you on about? I love the bit at the end where the Gossip Girl, the voice, where she's like
XOXO.
When she drops like a little bit of philosophy at the end.
So presumably it's XOXO, Dan Humphrey.
yeah.
What?
That's him with a voice changer, like Kane. But the voice always like has like a little bit of philosophy, like Christmas cracker philosophy at the end, where it's like, they say in life the slowest drip fills the bucket, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Someone's been watching the start of every episode of Criminal Minds, I see.
Where did you get that from?
Anyway, let us know. Over to you, NXT. Top that.
Yeah. So 15 moments the wrestlers died inside.
Yeah.
Like, there's EC3 with his red cup.
Yeah, there we go.
He's having a great time.
Check it out.
He ain't controlling any narratives here. Poor guy. See you later.
XOXO.
Gossip Girl.